Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to The Camera Adds 10 Pounds. I'm your host, Peter Surs, and today we're making history here today at The Camera Adds 10 Pounds. I have my first guest who is an actual blogger, not like a pretend one, but like a real one with an actual following. I'm actually a fan of this person's content. This person is a content creator. Does one of the things that we'll talk about it once we go. But anyway, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the creator of Love and Loathing LA, Caroline Juen.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm so excited to be here.
Are you really?
Yes, I actually really am.
You don't have
I
to say
love
that.
podcasts. I
Do you
love
really?
talking.
Oh,
So this is great.
okay.
Yeah.
You love podcasts.
I do.
What's your favorite podcast besides this one?
To live and die in LA.
Oh, is that a podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
It's
Does
amazing.
Tupac host that one?
You know.
'Cause that would be awesome if he did.
What if he did? He
There's
had
a-
something to do with it. He was a producer or something.
You know the song, right?
Secret.
To live
Yeah.
and die.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
Tupac song.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's part of the MO in LA. You must know Tupac. Anyways, yes, great podcast.
Okay.
Loved it. Murder, all kinds of fun stuff.
What's it about? Because
Murder.
Oh, it's about murder? Like actual murder?
Yes, it's a true story. So
Oh.
it's about an unsolved crime in LA and how there are a lot of unsolved crimes.
So
in
is it like
LA.
do they connect to each other or is it
Just
each-
one? It's just one story. It's
Okay.
kind of like Serial. Did you
Got
ever
it.
get into Serial?
No, but I know
That was
yeah,
a
yeah,
big thing on
course.
Serial. So it's kind of like that. It was an unsolved mystery. This guy kind of takes this project on to basically solve this murder. And
No way.
what I liked about To Live and Die in LA is that they actually do solve the murder.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So for the most part, I mean, you get 90% of it. So you feel it's been resolved.
That's great.
There's something very nice about that.
So how many episodes was it?
Ooh, I think it was
I'm sitting
somewhere
here
between 12 and 17. It felt like a lot, actually.
plugging another podcast on my podcast, which is totally fine.
Hey,
Because it's curious. I'm curious.
It's what we do in
It's
LA.
fine.
We're all supporting each other.
You would think. You would think.
I'd like to think so. I'd like to hope so.
So I'll like I said, I gave you the intro, but like I said, I've been a fan. Your pictures always pop up in my feed, on my Instagram
Well,
feed,
that's nice.
like all the time.
That's so
And I'm like,
great.
who is this person? And then I kind of do my research and whatever. And basically, so I'm from LA. This is our first time meeting, by the way. So I'm
So
getting
hey.
to know her just as much as you guys are getting to know her. But one of the things that I enjoy doing when people visit LA, because I was born here, I'm from here, is I enjoy taking people to, the Hollywood sign or stuff like that. I think you should do if you've never been here before.
Sure.
But the cool stuff.
Yes. I always say cliche, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, the Hollywood sign is if you can withstand any of the ways to get up there, because it's not actually easy to get
No,
up there.
yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's an adventure. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be. It's part of the.
But so many people
fun,
live
for
here
sure.
and they've never been.
Oh, I know. There's a lot of that. I mean, but you got to give them a little credit. There's so much to do here. I mean, I think that there's our standard minimums, but
Yeah.
even then, it's hard. There's
yeah,
too
there's-
much to do.
I'm going through your blog and I'm like, yeah, I've never been to most of these places.
Yeah, that's
every
kind
time.
of what's been really fun about doing this blog, is it's kind of forced me to do all that stuff
Yeah, yeah.
and experience it and kind of check off all the things on the bucket list that have been looming over me, even
Right.
though I've only lived here in LA proper for 8 years now.
LA
I mean,
proper.
LA proper. LA County.
I got you. Because you went to Chapman.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is in
Orange County.
So
Yeah.
I went to Cal State Fullerton. So
We were neighbors.
We were neighbors.
Yeah, we played sports with each other, I think.
Were you in a sorority?
Oh, no. No, I couldn't do that. I got a job immediately at House of Blues. I knew that the music people were my people.
Oh,
That's
cool.
where I wanted
The
to
one
be.
in Anaheim or the one here?
The one in Anaheim when it
Okay.
was in downtown Disney.
Right.
R.I.P. But yeah, that was my gig.
Oh,
and
is it not
that's-
there anymore?
No,
Oh, I
they
didn't know
moved it. Yeah, they moved it to the Garden Walk, which I haven't been to that,
that
so
where
I couldn't
Cheesecake
attest.
Factory
But
is?
I feel like
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, I know where that is.
So, yeah,
Okay.
that was my version of a sorority. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was more of a fraternity. But
Got
I
it.
got to join some way somehow. All I had to
Okay.
do is get nose piercing and tattoos, and I was totally fine. So all good.
You don't have. I don't see either one of those.
Oh, I took out my nose ring, but I do still have tattoos.
Okay, fair.
And they're very in my early 20 tattoos, so it's kind of cute. It's,
Okay.
very appropriate.
I had one of my other guests a few weeks ago was an Chapman alum, but
Oh,
you probably don't know her. She's a comedian, also Sarah Weinschenk.
well, I'll look her up. I
I
mean,
think she
because
studied film while she was there. I'm pretty
see,
sure.
that's way cooler than what I studied. I
Yeah.
studied art, so I mean, I loved it. Don't get me wrong, but Chapman is very much so known for the film
Yeah, yeah,
industry.
yeah.
So
mean,
very
but-
cool. Good on her.
Art's important though.
Thank you.
It
That's
makes
what I thought.
it makes the world. I mean, I'm an artist.
Yeah,
It makes
same.
the world go round.
Yeah, I'd like to think that like this blog is an extension of my art schooling.
Absolutely.
So
You have a vision.
know,
You had a vision.
yeah, a creative vision. Yeah, it definitely gave me the platform I needed to keep doing it.
Did you know any? This is not even related to the blog. Any of the sorority girls from Chapman?
Oh hell yeah,
Because
yeah.
we used to party with we call the girls from Alpha Phi all the
Oh yeah,
time.
for sure.
Because they were like party animals. Shout out to All for Free.
What? Yeah,
they used
like
to come to our house.
honestly, all the fraternity, like what do they call them? The
Sororities,
right,
fraternities.
but like the letter,
The Greek letters.
yeah, the Greek people,
Greek community.
the Greek kids.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they were all a blast. I mean, Chapman's a pretty small
Yeah,
school,
yeah.
so we all hung out together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had friends all over.
Yeah,
because
because it's only like what, like a couple
I
thousand
think it's like
people.
3,000 undergrad. It's small. So it was, we were a tight knit community, but yeah, they always threw the parties per usual. I mean,
And you
very-
went.
I went.
Yeah.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Eventually, like once I got over my like, super uber emo phase, and decided, like you should hang out at your school. That was more like junior, senior
When
year.
you say emo, like what do you mean by like? You mean like punk rock and?
Yeah, I
like
was into like
Blink-182
super,
concerts?
ironically, I was like super into metal and,
Me too.
yeah. So still, yeah, I should say
Who's your
that.
favorite metal band?
Metal band? Probably. You put me on the spot here.
Yeah, I know. See that? I'll go first. I love
Metalocalypse. I'm kidding.
Oh, I've never heard of them.
God.
Is that a real band?
Do you remember the show Death Clock?
No.
Oh my God, they were so great.
Metal. What did you?
Metalocalypse.
Metalocalypse? Have you
Yeah.
heard of them, Alex?
Or
Oh,
Death
really?
Clock. I'm sorry. It's the other way around. It's Death Clock and Metalocalypse is the show. Oh,
Oh.
my God. That was one of the best shows I've ever seen in LA.
Never
Watain? Are we going like, we could go.
I like Slipknot.
You like
I'm
Slipknot? Okay,
hard.
cool.
Like I love
Yeah,
Slipknot,
yeah,
which
yeah.
people that know me know
Yeah.
that. But like if someone just casual know me, they
Yeah.
know me as like a big Justin Timberlake and NSYNC and like pop
Bless. Yeah.
music fan.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, like I've gone to a bunch of Slipknot concerts.
Yeah. House of Blues did a lot of black metal stuff. So we
Okay,
had
yeah,
like,
yeah.
we had like I said, Watain and oh my God, they're all slipping my mind right now.
Yeah,
This
so
is
the-
how far gone I've gone. I don't
Yeah.
even listen to music anymore. I only listen to books now. So
Really?
like I'm like,
Well, that's like
we're 8 years past of being like,
when we get older, we tend to like. I listen to so many podcasts. I'm the same way.
yeah.
Okay.
It's so funny. But yeah, that was my college years.
Okay.
Yeah, lots
And then
of
you-
that. And then I grew out of that a little bit. I
Right.
decided to like branch out a little bit and kind of become more involved with school and,
Yeah.
hanging out with more younger peers versus, just people that had, tattoo and wore a lot of eyeliner. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I know you finished school and then you knew you wanted to move to LA.
Yep.
For what it was just calling you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
For
it
some
was.
reason.
I just knew that if I wanted to keep going and have some sort of career in a creative field that, or in the music field, I wasn't entirely sure at this point, but I suppose we can count that as creative. I knew that LA kind of was where I needed to go. I grew up in the Bay Area. Bay Area is like,
That's right, because you have a 925 area.
yeah,
code.
yeah.
That's
And I'm keeping it
Is
forever.
that like Pleasantville area?
Yeah, Danville technically is where I
Danville.
grew up. Mhm.
I know Danville.
What?
I do because I played baseball and we played them in the state championship like oh god
Oh my gosh, that's
so
so
many
funny.
years ago. Like,
yeah.
and
It's a small town.
It's a North
Big
Cal.
small town. But yeah, Northern California. But it's like, it's just not my thing up there. I love it to death. I love it for what it is, but I
Too
had
many
no
Giants
interest.
fans, right?
I was. Now I'm a traitor. I'm a full-blown hardcore Dodger
Yeah,
fan.
no, I saw
Like,
you.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just, LA just has a lot more, I don't know, creative appeal, I guess. The Bay Area is more tech appealing, and I
Yeah,
just didn't, I don't know. I wanted to try something different.
You could say LA's better.
LA's better.
It's fine.
For
mean,
different reasons, right?
Yeah,
For what I wanted to explore, though, LA was
Uh-huh.
definitely where I needed to be. Like, I wasn't sure that I even wanted to per se. Like, it wasn't like this, like, oh, this glamorous thing. It was just like I knew that that's where I had to go
I
to
get
at
it.
least see what I could, make of whatever the hell I wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got into so where? Okay, I want to. So for those of you guys, some of you guys are just meeting Caroline for the first time, like myself. You got this idea for this blog,
Yeah.
Love and Loathing LA.
Yeah.
We can just give the origin story. Like,
Yeah, it's a good one. So I quit my job. I moved here and worked at Live Nation corporate. Stuck with House of Blues for a couple years, and then I just quit. I was 22, I want to say, and I felt like if there was any time I was gonna like plant and pivot in life, it was gonna be at 22. You know, I could afford to do it back then when I wasn't making much money anyway. So I was like, screw it, I'm gonna quit. I had this like crazy idea to start writing a book originally, and I'll never forget. I called my mom, like, Mom, oh my God, I figured it out. I'm gonna write this book. It's gonna be great. You'll see. And she's like, okay, that sounds awesome. Like, you're a great writer, but maybe you should start with a blog. And I was like, great idea. What the hell is a blog? I had no idea really. Like, I mean, I've heard the word, but I did not know what it was. And she's like, it's this thing you do where you're trying to write a book. You can work out your thoughts, you know. And my mom was kind of the one that planted the seed to get that started.
The fact that she would know what a blog. I mean, I don't know how old your mom is, but she's got to be
in her 50s.
In her 50s, probably,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, so it's genius. I mean, that just goes to show like how, you know, I always say that I'm very glad that I was as blissfully ignorant going into this as I was, because had I known what I was, you know, how concentrated it was. I mean, even back then, even 6, 7 years ago, I don't know that I would have started. I probably would have been too intimidated or too, you know, nervous to do it. But I'm glad that I did and jumped into the space. And
so you started just writing.
Yeah,
it was just a website.
for the most part. So I wrote about like a month's worth of blog posts just so that I had enough content. So when I did try to get an online social media presence, that I had, you know, things to back me up. Like I knew that, you know, having this backlog of blog posts would at least give me some sort of legitimacy.
Yeah.
So, you know, so that's how I did it. And then I started, you know, because the two completely go in hand, I think, blogging and social media. You really, and writing. These days, it's hard to build a business without social media.
Do
So,
all of those things.
you know,
like
even
writing.
Yeah, all the
Like
things.
social media, video content,
All the things.
like everything.
Podcasts.
Yeah.
All the things. Yeah. So it's been a crazy
Well, that was
ride
why I
since.
kind of was like, you know what, like you would be the perfect person for here because one, just because I love LA, and it's
Amen.
one of my famous hashtags that I always use is I love LA.
Me
Because
too.
there's so many cool. So I think
That's one of my
that
favorites
might be how I discovered you.
Maybe. Probably.
And but also like in this day and age where it's like entertainment industry is, you know, most people think of it as like, okay, actors, musicians,
Right.
models, whatever. But
Sure.
you know, there's dancers, there's comedians, there's but now then you got writers, and now you have, you know, like bloggers, and now you have podcasters, and there's YouTubers, and there's so many, like there's just so many different types of categories and I think it's all part of the same thing though,
For
because
sure.
it's all taken from, you know, social media, from advertising, from just all the things get poured into all these different outlets. So there's so many different ways to, I mean, think about like all the people that were like Vine stars like 4 years ago whenever Vine was popular, and like they had to go somewhere, like, but that was the thing for like a very short period of time. There was people who were actually Vine stars.
Yeah.
But they didn't have anything else going on. It was just, they were able to make these great 6-second or whatever however videos, but then that was it. And so it's like, it's interesting, but there's just so many different, you know, like I said, facets of the industry now.
And they all come back to LA, which is pretty fun.
Yeah.
So, hence why this is the spot to be.
So where'd the title come from?
You know, I'm
sure you probably got asked this a million times.
No, I mean, you know, I love this story. I just knew that I was looking for something that described or could encapsulate exactly how pretty much all of us feel. Like we love LA, but there are definitely parts that there's, you know, that totally fucking suck. You know, like undeniably suck. So, and it's not quite like, you know, the civic pride I think that you get with places like New York or things like that. Like Angelinos have a lot of pride, but we also know what we're up against here. So I was trying to, especially being from the Bay Area, where people in the Bay Area absolutely hate Los Angeles for no apparent reason.
I mean, if you're a Giants fan, I
Fine.
totally get it.
I guess.
That's a big thing. But like,
Yeah.
if you just live in San Francisco and that's not a thing, then it doesn't make sense.
No, and you, it's like half of them have never even been here. So
Right.
it's like that was a good portion of why I started my blog to begin with. I was like, wait, LA is not as awful as people in the Bay Area make it seem. But yeah,
Uh-huh. Okay. I
Yeah.
get it. I travel, you travel a lot too,
I do.
but I travel a lot for work as well. And that's kind of a sentiment in a lot of places.
Yeah.
It's one of two things. Like if I go somewhere, it's either like, oh wow, you're from LA, or like,
Yeah.
you're from LA. That's one of them sanctuary cities. And you're like, wait, dude, hold on.
Yeah.
Like, relax. It's weird. But like,
Yeah.
have you ever been? Like,
Yeah.
no, I wouldn't go. There's too much traffic. I'm like, I mean, yeah, but like,
There's traffic in every major
There's
metropolis
also-
city, so that's not an excuse anymore.
yeah,
If it's lame. You're
ma-
gonna have to come up with something more original than that. As far as I'm concerned.
major metropolitan, yes,
Yeah.
but like there's a lot of cities that traffic is not a thing.
I guess so.
We're
apparently.
like
I've never been there, but
you just go. I
No, I'm
mean,
kidding, but
have you been-
Danville doesn't have much traffic, I guess.
yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, places like like even Oklahoma City now, because I go there a lot.
Yeah.
They have traffic at like in a very specific area, like
Right.
at rush hour, and like but there's some cities where it's just like they don't know what traffic is like
Yeah.
at all, and or like I always joke I go to like Wichita, Kansas a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been?
No.
Are you jealous that
Yeah,
I've been?
very.
And like you could be in their downtown quote.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using parentheses if you're not watching, and like there's like traffic signals, but like you just cross the street whenever,
Mm-hmm.
like because there's nobody around. Even at like 5 o'clock on a Monday, there's
Mm-hmm.
just there's no traffic, and so it's just weird to be like in a downtown part of a city
Yeah.
and have there not be any traffic.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah, I get that.
but it is a sentiment. Like a lot of people that have never been here don't like it, and I'm like, no, you can't.
No, you can't say that. You don't know.
Yeah,
But, yeah.
When I go places, I can say, okay, I don't like this. I'm not going to name any cities. I love you all. Come see me when I'm in your city.
You're
but-
all my favorite.
Yeah, but when I go and then I come, I'm like, okay, God, I'm glad to be home because, I can't find healthy food in Little Rock, Arkansas, or I
Right.
can't
Okay.
do,
For sure.
there's things about LA that
Yeah.
you just absolutely love.
Yeah.
So what don't you like about LA? What do you loathe about LA?
I think that it's kind of a catch-22 because on one hand, I feel like the comparison game here is really, really strong, and to a degree, I feel like that can be good because I feel like it can push you.
Uh-huh.
It can push you to
Comparison like to other people?
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
I think that like we have a thing that we are always, I don't want to say envious, but we compare a lot, and it's a little toxic, and I don't think it's I don't know. There's something really particularly enhanced in LA for some reason, but at the same time, like I said, it can push you, but I think that also it can really drag you down, and it's like it's not, LA is not made for some people, and
Agreed.
that sucks, but I feel like a lot of it comes from that,
Yeah.
feeling like you're not good enough, and it can push you out, and that
Yeah.
sucks.
You're
So-
I mean, you're talking to a comic, and Alex is gone. Sound engineer's gone. But that's the thing. It's like to not acknowledge the fact that it does exist at a certain level. Like I think in some people they have it more so, but like a lot of times, and I'm one of them too, and I've gotten a lot better. But it's like I think like I'll just use comedy for an example. Like if you see somebody get something, like they got an HBO special or something, you're like, man, like why they give it to that person?
Yep.
Whereas you should just be like, oh, good for that
Right.
person.
I'm gonna do me.
Yeah, like this person succeeding isn't going to keep me.
Right.
Even though it does feel like that sometimes. You, like I said, you wouldn't be human if you didn't feel that way. But there's plenty of room for everybody as long as you're doing your work and,
Yeah.
being funny, or in your case, like creating great content and
thank you.
whatever. Like there's plenty of room for everybody. You don't have to experience that, but it is hard to like compartmentalize that and just
It's harder
recognize it.
here. I feel
Yeah.
like because like we're all trying to go after the same kind of, we're all chasing the similar dreams. There's a lot of us chasing a lot of big dreams.
There's 4 million people here
Yeah.
in LA.
And it's
All
tough.
of 'em are
it's
hot.
hard not to compare yourself,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not it's not an easy city to be in. I mean, it show it some goodwill, and it will show you the same goodwill
I agree.
back. You know,
Because I love it, and I also feel like, there's a lot of people here that will talk bad about LA, and people suck, and I do find, and you can agree or but like a lot of the people that I'll say talk shit about LA are the ones that aren't actually from here.
oh, for sure.
Like they come from somewhere else, and maybe they were the hottest
Well,
girl.
and they're not getting what they want, and it's like
Yeah.
that doesn't make it anybody else's fault, and it's
Right.
not their problem.
Like, so you were the hottest girl in St. Louis,
Yeah.
and then you came out here because everyone told you should go out to LA, and then you realized, oh, like everybody else here is hot too,
Yeah.
or talented, or whatever, and no one asked you to come. You chose to come, and yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
So
make it what
but that
you
doesn't
want,
make it
but
bad. Like,
yeah,
it's great.
Exactly. Like I said,
Yeah.
this is what kind of is great and it sucks about LA, like to a T.
I like it.
Exemplary example.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll have to ask you this because I would not be doing my podcast justice. You know all the ins and outs of this city. I mean, I feel like after you know all the new spots, all the not so new spots, everything.
I'd like to think.
So where's your favorite place? Let's start here. Your favorite fitness studio in LA.
Okay. Well, I'm an Equinox member.
Okay.
I've been an Equinox member for 6 years
Fancy.
now. Oh man. So I lived in Culver City, and there were no gyms in Culver City.
Oh, yeah.
It was either LA Fitness or we had to go to the Century City Equinox.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
we did not have we had no business being at Equinox at that point. But the minute I
We
saw
as in you.
me and my boyfriend, excuse me, and me, hello, rephrase.
Got it.
And we had no business going to Equinox at that point. It was expensive as hell.
It's super expensive.
We
yeah.
we did not have that kind of money. But it was either that or go back to LA Fitness where people were swimming in the pool with their clothes on and 60-year-old women were getting in fist fights and
Is this the
or
one-
finding
is like off of-
condoms on the floor at the gym. I was like, okay, this is where I gotta draw the line a little.
I call it LA shitness.
Yeah. So and especially right. I mean, sorry, but I mean,
Is it the one on Overland?
yes.
Yeah. I used
Oh
to-
God, it was brutal. And we were going to the gym 5-6 days a week, you
Yeah.
know? So like what the hell were we paying to do that when, like it's such a big part of my lifestyle.
Yeah.
It was worth the money. And I mean, I could be spending the same amount of money going to, a couple gyms, local, fitness studios or getting a class pass
Right.
thing, but I really
You said the bad word. We don't like class pass. here.
I don't either. Sorry. So, well, I shouldn't. No, I don't.
Yeah, you could
and-
say it.
No, it's not for me.
I don't love class pass for a number of reasons, and you guys can fight me on it if you want. But here's the
Yeah.
thing that I don't enjoy about it, really quick.
Tell me.
So on ClassPass, for those of you guys that maybe don't live in LA or somewhere, it's basically an inexpensive way for you to try different fitness studios. And so like maybe like a fitness studio might charge $30 a class or $25 a class. You could get a group of them on ClassPass for maybe half that price or a little bit less, and then try different studios and figure out which one you like or whatever. But that's all great. I actually encourage that, and that's kind of what we talk about in this podcast
Yeah.
is
Especially
when
if you're looking to explore.
yeah, when you're taking care of yourself, not everybody is like a meathead like me that wants to lift heavy weights and punch things. Like some people want to do a yoga or a Pilates or a
Sure.
meditation or whatever. And ClassPass is great for that.
It is.
But what I don't like is how they let anybody who uses their platform rate and review classes. Even for one, it's anonymous, so I find that a lot of people will talk
They
shit.
can hide. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about the instructors. It's very similar to like the people that have like the egg avatar on Twitter. Like
Yeah.
they don't have a picture, but they're sitting there talking shit, and I don't like that because most of these instructors, this is their job,
Right.
and people will read that review and say, "Oh, I'm not going to go take so and so's class because it sounds like she's mean or unattentive." And it's like, no, dude, this person doesn't know what they're talking about.
They don't really need that. I don't even read those, so I hope it doesn't matter to other
Some people
but
do.
Stupid.
I've seen some mean reviews, and I have friends that are instructors and whatever, and it's just like, I don't like that. I wish there was some sort of
If you're on
process.
the platform though,
Yeah.
like you're there for convenience. Like
Yeah.
don't bother with that.
Yeah.
The teacher rating crap. Come
Yeah.
on. Like just try your class and get it out.
Yeah.
You know?
If you don't like it, just be quiet. Like,
Honestly,
it's like-
why do you like those people all have way too much time on their
Yeah.
hands? Like if I didn't like something, like man, it's gotta really, really have set me over the edge. But
That's
you
what
know,
I'm saying.
yeah. But those people just want to be loud.
It's also
Maybe
the people that like
maybe they get a 15% off discount or some crap. I
no,
don't know.
the people that like go to a comedy show and then go out of their way to afterwards go online and like tweet about how offensive so and so was, and it's like you could have just not laughed and then never came back.
Just if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
The golden rule. Well, that's not the golden rule. The golden rule is something else.
It's one of them. Let's just say that it's one of them.
Treat others how you want to be treated. That's the golden rule, I think.
Yes,
Maybe.
whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so ClassPass, super
So
cool.
Equinox,
But you know, I've done it all. Like
Uh-huh.
that was especially in the beginning, that was a big part of Love and Loathing LA was honestly trying new workout studios because LA is the at the epicenter of weird
sure.
and random workouts.
For sure.
So
were
if
just talking
you
about that,
want to
'cause,
do some weird shit in LA that involves some sort of exercise and
Right.
sweat,
There's
this is the city
everything.
for you.
It's so saturated,
It's so ridiculous.
but there's like it's like restaurants. I feel
Yeah.
like where
Yeah.
like there's new fitness studios opening
Oh,
all the time,
all
and
the
then
time.
other ones that have been around closing all the
Yep.
time, and it's just like
Same, exactly.
it's
Actually,
crazy.
that's a really good comparison. Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. So I have tried it all. Again, I'm kind of with you, being 30 and just having worked out literally all my life. I always end up going back to the gym. I prefer to be. I'm a lone wolf. I like to lift weights, and I hate
like it.
cardio, but I do it sometimes. So
Yeah.
I guess I do Soul Cycle still.
Okay.
That's my cardio. I feel like a little pat on the back for
Yeah.
getting my 45
same
minutes in.
company. You
Yeah.
keep it real. Or they were the same company.
Yeah.
I think they're not anymore. I think.
No, they are.
Are they? I don't.
They are. I think.
I don't
Pretty sure.
remember. But
Either way,
Yeah, yeah.
yes, bougie workouts.
yeah, that's great.
So,
You treat yourself.
yeah, well, like I said, like it's a huge part of my life. I'm there. I'm in some sort of doing something active at least 3 to 4 times a week. Strive for 5 to 6. So it's
Now, is it? Because I know you talk about self-care a little bit in your blog, which I agree with. Actually, I remember one of your posts you were talking about. You referred to Jen Sincero's book, and I was like, oh yeah, I've read that book like a million times.
Me too.
All right, well, she has like 3 of them now.
Yeah, I know.
And I've read all of them.
yeah,
I own all of them.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Jen.
yeah. Oh, God, I love Jen.
I feel like I'm not the target demo, but I still read that shit.
Everyone is the target demo.
She's talking to girls.
No,
You don't think so?
no. I think I basically force this book on everyone. I think it makes us all better people. So everyone read it.
Okay.
I mean, I get the
It feels like she's
the
talking to a
slight
girl.
lean to a girl, but just ignore
But I love
that.
it, dude. I
Yeah.
love it. I mean, there's so many things that are not geared towards straight males
Yeah.
that I enjoy.
Yeah.
So it's whatever.
So this is great.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So self care, Jen
Okay.
Sincero. Love her.
Well, but I had a point though when I was asking. Okay, yeah. That's so. Is your fitness routine part of like just you taking care of yourself, or is there like, because you have to photograph obviously for your posts and for your blog and whatnot. Is that part of it, or is it a little bit of both?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. And
Okay.
this year, especially, it's this year was a little more heavily focused on my well being,
Okay.
and I the gym definitely. As much as I hate it sometimes, it is that
Yeah.
it is like it's the one routine that I must do. I'm not a routine person. This is why I love my job. I get to do different things all the time, but the gym is the one consistent thing that makes a genuinely positive aspect in my life, in my
Yeah.
day to day. If I don't go, I don't feel right. And it is definitely part of it is mental. The other part is that I am just trying to keep up with the fact that my job is to eat and drink for a living.
Yeah.
For the most part.
That's a tough job.
Yeah, it sucks, but it's a nice balance, right? So I go to the gym a lot and I get to eat and drink, and I find that that's a great balance. Would I like to be like, if I stopped eating and drinking the way that I do, I'd probably be like, full blown fitness model. No, I'm kidding. I'd like to think that because of how hard I work out, I could. But that being said, I wouldn't get to enjoy the things that I get to enjoy
Yeah.
because of it. So it's a nice balance. At 30, I have finally found the balance and accepted it for what it is, that I'm, going to be the size that I am. I'm going to be okay with the size that I am. I'm going to be able to enjoy life, and I'm going to be able to, work out and make it all,
So
life worth living.
would you say that you work out a lot so that you could eat more?
I'm in my head. I'm always working out more to like have definition
Yeah.
and have muscle. It sucks though because I strained my
Pectoralis?
no, I
Dude,
thought it was my
you're
pec.
pointing to your chest.
Yes, I'm pointing to my chest.
Uh-huh.
It was actually my rib. I moved a
Oh,
rib out of place in the front
really?
of my chest.
Oh, fuck,
Yeah,
dude.
it hurt for months. So I literally have not been able to do upper body
No
for
way.
4 months. And it's killing me because that's like where I thrive. I
Was
love
it like, so you dislocated a rib?
Basically, yeah, I moved
Oh
it
my
out of
God.
place on the front of my chest. One
Oh,
of my
God.
front ribs, not like the side. It was in the front, like on my
Like where it connects to your
breastplate
sternum,
base. Yeah, I
basically
mean,
somewhere
oh,
up here.
just gross.
How?
So I honestly, I strained it on a chest day. And
Oh,
I thought
wow.
it was a pec strain the whole time, but like
Yeah.
because it just did not go away, I went to physical therapy, and it turns out I moved a bone.
What do you?
Ugh.
I don't even know. You just don't do anything,
Yeah.
and that's how you heal, right? Like,
Pretty much.
there's nothing they can do about that.
No, so I mean, part of it was that. The other part of it was, as I learned in physical therapy, I mean, like, as gross as it sounds, like slowly pushing it back into place.
Oh,
Doing like exercises with a lacrosse ball, and I would
Oh.
push it into the wall. So I'd like
Oh, yeah,
put,
yeah.
push the ball
Uh-huh.
into my chest up against a wall, and kind of like slowly, and
so lacrosse ball
mildly
is like
painfully put it into place.
they're like hard, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
they're
almost
hard.
like I don't even.
They're a
know
little
how
harder
to
than a
describe
tennis
it.
ball.
It's like a hard rubber,
Yeah, exactly.
kind of,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
like really like probably
So-
not as hard as a baseball,
No.
but softer than or harder than a tennis ball, softer than a baseball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And apparently, good for pushing,
Yeah.
bones back into place. So,
That's so
it's
weird.
super cool, right?
That sounds painful.
Oh, it's super
I always tell,
painful.
like-
I thought it was like, this is just life now. Like, cool. I just have this, rib out of place for
Right.
the rest of my life, but I've taken a lot
Was there
of
like
time off. So.
was there like discoloring and stuff?
No,
Okay,
thank
that's
God.
good. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I was like lost. So, and that really affected my mental well-being. I mean, really,
sure.
like, I mean, as mentioned, I don't love doing cardio. So being forced to do as much cardio as I had to do and like lots of legs, which I also hate doing, but I do them anyway. Oh, it was like, it was taking a toll on my mental health.
Uh-huh.
So, we're slowly getting back into it. but
Injuries are very humbling.
They really are, aren't they?
I
Yeah.
like to feel like I'm invincible, and I mean I pretty much am.
Yeah.
But like every once in a while, my body
Yeah.
would be like, "Hey man, you're not 20 anymore.
Yeah.
Here's a
so you
back
know.
thing.
Mhm.
Here's a muscle strain. Here's a pulled oblique." You're like, "Dude, this is
Dang it. Yeah.
bad."
I know. Trust me, I know. It's been weird, but yeah, it came at a good time. Jen Sincero was on my side, so
I've put people onto her book, just when they're talking about certain things,
Mm-hmm.
like because I feel like the first one, "You Are a Badass," right? Is that what
Mm-hmm.
the first one's called?
yeah.
It's very much about like self-talk and positive affirmations and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And so whenever someone is like, I noticed that like they're kind of beating themselves up, I'm like, you should probably read this, like,
Yeah.
because you shouldn't be beating yourself up for various reasons, but
That's my go-to.
try this. Yeah.
That one. I've read it 3 times this year.
But I also like the "You Are a Badass and Making Money" book too.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, because who doesn't want to,
I want to make more money.
Yeah. And
Always.
I felt like the two were very similar, but
Yeah, yeah.
I appreciated the the more direct
Yeah.
focus on.
How to be a
Yeah.
badass at making money and give me another $15 of your money so I
Yeah.
can tell you how to get more. And I'm like, yeah, I get it.
Genius.
Okay, so you're an Equinox person, the
Mm-hmm.
EQ. They have good classes though. Like they have, like if you're gonna, it is expensive, but
Yeah.
they have a lot of different things, and I blame them. I blame this on them. I only use Kiehl's products on my body
Oh,
now
yeah.
because of them.
Yep.
I grew up in the hood, dude. So I had no idea
That's,
what like.
that's my boyfriend. He's like
Uh,
never used products in his
yeah.
life, and now it's all
It's
Kiehl's.
it's the.
He had to run
best,
to
dude.
Kiehl's today, as a matter of
Yeah,
fact. So
it's the best, dude. Like I'm,
So
like I
great.
tell, like okay, one of the things is like as a comic, people, especially online, which I try not to get, but like I've had like family members like say this to me too, but one of the insults that like people are quick to throw at me or other comics is "you're a failed comic."
oh
Because because we're not famous and whatever, and it's like, well, no, I've only been doing comedy for 7 years, and it takes a lot longer than that to really make it, unless you get lucky. So
Yeah.
like, I'm actually doing pretty good, comedy wise, considering the timeline
Yeah.
and where I'm.
and define making it. Come on,
Well, that's another thing too.
Subjective.
It's for me, for a kid who grew up in the hood, anytime I get paid to tell jokes, that's a success to me.
Fucking A.
Period. Whether it's $25 or $100 or $10. I'm like, they're paying me to tell
Yeah.
jokes. Like, you're getting paid to do what you do,
Yeah.
which is, eat and drink and
It's pretty wild.
go to cool places and do all kinds, get all these experiences. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So when people tell me, I'm like, no, that's not. But anyway, so one of these things that I said was like, when someone would hurl that insult, I'm like, well, actually, I eat breakfast at Whole Foods 3 or 4 times a week, and I use Kiehl's products on my body all day long. So how much of a failure can I really be? Like,
Feeling pretty good about
yeah,
myself.
like I'm pretty, I'm ahead of a
Sounds
lot
like
of
a you
people.
problem.
Yeah, who eats Whole Foods breakfast 3 times a week or 4 times a week?
That's pretty great.
You probably don't, huh? You probably go to like fancy places.
No, actually, I'm about to blow your mind. I eat macro plate. I'm on a
You eat
I'm on a
what?
meal plan.
Oh, really? Like a meal service?
Yep.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, that's like honestly, that's how I keep myself in check. Is like fortunately, it takes all my stress out of eating at home and what I eat the rest of the time if I'm not dining out.
Right.
So Monday through Friday, I get lunch and dinner delivered to my house.
No kidding.
And they're
And what's it called?
macro plate.
Macro plate. I like that.
Yeah, and they're all portion controlled, calorie controlled, macro controlled.
They deliver them to your house.
Nightly, yeah.
Wow.
And the food
Oh,
is
nightly, every day.
really freaking good.
Okay.
I'm not not sponsored, but I really am a big fan of this particular service.
Okay.
I've been doing it now, I think for I want to say 8 months.
Oh, wow.
Like a long time.
I tell people to do that, like, because I mean, I don't have a problem because I live in a neighborhood where I can just kind of walk everywhere,
Yeah.
and like I can walk to Trader Joe's. I can walk.
Oh, that's great.
It's like perfect. So like I don't have a problem with like preparing my breakfast, and I actually like making breakfast. And then my
Yeah.
girlfriend is kind of more into like making the dinners and stuff, and
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
great.
But I tell people like if you're trying to get into shape or whatever, like, and you can afford it because
Yeah.
sometimes they're pricey.
Yeah.
A meal plan or meal service is
Yeah.
great because it just takes the thought out of it.
It's been a huge help for me this year, especially like
Okay.
I mean, growing up, I've had a lot of stress around food. I never had like necessarily an eating disorder, but my family is like we have a weird relationship with food.
Okay.
And it was a lot of like punishment. So that having this kind of being able to indulge and then not want to hate myself afterwards, knowing that like tomorrow you have macro plate, get over it.
Yeah.
Like you're good.
So-
I do the 80-20 rule. For the most part, it's more like probably 70-30 if we're being honest. I mean, just because of what I do, but
Yeah.
that 70% of the time I'm eating macro plate and I'm eating super controlled.
Okay.
I'm taking care of myself. The 30% of the time, like I'm
Mine's
having
like
freaking
90-10.
fun. 90-10.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's
But,
fine.
like-
But that's your MO. That's your thing.
Yeah, I'm getting
So-
older, and I just have to. Like,
Oh my
and-
God, tell me about it. That's where it's getting hard. And
Yeah.
it's like it's not as easy as it was when I was 23.
Yeah.
So I hear you
recognize
on that
like
one.
the body changes, and like
Yeah.
I just recognize like just as I've gotten older, like
Yeah.
I every time, there'll be a certain point where I'm like, oh, this affects me different now. I feel
It's
different
wild, right?
after I eat this, and so that's why like I don't count calories or anything, but
Yeah.
like if I had to, I can tell you how many calories I had. If I just thought about what I ate today, I could tell you.
Yeah.
But I don't focus on calories. Because I know that what I'm eating is good quality
Right.
and whatnot. But like I said, I know how certain foods
Yeah.
affect me now.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, man. Like I remember, do you ever go to Hermosa Beach at all? So I used to live in Hermosa Beach for a long
Nice.
time, and it's a party scene down
Yeah.
there. And we used to go out like all the time, and almost every time we went out, we would end it with this place called Paisanos, and it's probably. I mean, you might be able to tell me what's a better pizza than that, but in LA, like it's up there as
Yeah.
far as like my favorite pizza,
Yeah.
along with what's the place on Larchmont? Village Pizza.
Village Pizza.
That's
yeah.
the name, right? They're very close.
Ooh,
And
Village is so good.
it is, right? Okay, so you agree.
Oh, I love Village.
Oh, great.
Yeah, big fan.
Okay. So it's neck and neck, but like we would go there at night, like at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and me and a buddy split like a whole pizza, and like I was still in really good shape, and like it was fine. And now I'm like, I would
Can't do it.
feel awful,
Yeah.
and I would probably be like 20 pounds heavier if I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird how certain things just affect you like almost immediately. Like
Yeah.
the older you get, like I'm like it's wild.
Okay.
But again, macro plate takes all of that stress out for me.
Yeah, I
so
like
the,
it.
the 20-30% of the time that I'm having fun and I'm like, oh, I don't feel good. But you know
Right.
what? Whatever. For me that works.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry if you have to answer this question a million times. So, what's like your typical day? You blog about how great LA is and all the cool places. So, like, what's the strategy or like what's the day like?
Yeah, so it's like I said earlier that I don't do routines very well.
Yeah.
So I love that every day is different, you
Uh-huh.
know. But most days I try to at least get like one full day in. Usually like Mondays I try to keep to myself and I try to keep it as like a quote office day. So I try to just strictly write that day. Like I'm
Okay.
just like, get get as much writing as I possibly can.
Uh-huh.
The rest is honestly either research or me networking or me creating content in some way somehow.
Yeah.
Um, but that's it's different every day. I mean,
Okay.
I do get to dine out quite a bit. I get to go to events where there's eating and drinking and carrying on and things like that. But I'd say like the actual dining part, I get to do maybe like a couple times a week,
Okay.
max like 3 or 4. I can't handle that much. I mean, not anymore. But it's definitely a part of every week though.
Okay.
And then otherwise, I mean, I do travel quite a bit. I try to travel at least once a month. Really, like
Okay,
just
good.
quick stuff. I mean, I don't I don't go too far.
Where's your favorite non-LA place?
Non-LA place. This is kind of an odd one because if you're getting to know me, but I'm not like much of a outdoorsy type of girl.
Uh-huh.
So it's always kind of weird when I tell people that my favorite city is actually Portland.
Okay.
I
People love Portland. Yeah.
It seems like maybe not a place that would be my personal favorite,
Uh-huh.
but it is. I love the food scene. I love the weather up there. I feel like it's just so different than LA.
Like the weather, like the rain
Yes.
and the overcastness.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It's so I don't know, it's such a treat. We don't really get that in LA.
Yeah, we
You know,
don't.
it's kind of nice to see and experience.
I agree.
See some fog,
Yeah.
some ultra green.
Some trees. Yeah.
Wow, like you've never seen
A bike
a
lane.
city. Yeah, I
I
mean
bet.
it's
I feel.
wild.
I've actually never been to Portland,
Oh.
or I actually have, but not like for
Yeah.
long enough to really.
Yeah, to take
but
it all in.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's a bike lane city.
Yeah, it is, and I hate biking, so that's again very ironic why I love this city so much. But yeah, it's just they're my people. Like people in Portland are freaking dope. They're super nice.
Uh-huh.
Great coffee,
Voodoo
great
donuts?
food. Voodoo donuts, I hate.
Oh, good
Ugh.
for you.
Yeah, can't stand it. Sorry. Blue Star, if we had to, pick a, favorite that was, something people would know. But other than that, like breweries, love the wine. Oh, wine country up there. I'm big into wine. Like
Uh-huh.
wine is basically my middle name. I live for wine. I work out for wine.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, now it just came to me. Yeah, I love the Willamette Valley up there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, I was born in Austin, so I love going back to Austin
I've never
too.
been to Austin.
What? Oh, you gotta go. It's great.
Well, so okay, so
Big foodie cities
you'll-
though, so
you'll-
you'd have to go eat and drink. You'd
You'll
be
learn
forced.
this about me. So being a comedian, it's hard for me to go anywhere for like vacation
Sure.
if I know that there's a comedy club there that I could
Yeah.
be working while I'm there.
Yeah.
So there's 2 comedy clubs there, and I haven't been booked to work at either one. Although I keep going back.
We're
and forth.
manifesting.
Yeah, Cap City. I emailed you guys. You emailed me back. I'm still waiting for the email back.
Get it together.
Yeah.
What
Or
do
the
we gotta
Velveeta
do?
room. It doesn't matter which one. So that's why I haven't been. But I feel like I would love Austin
Oh, you would.
because I love I love live music. I love
Yeah.
I love like we were talking about. I'm an artist. I love all forms of art.
Yeah.
So like whether it's visual, performance art, music. I love being in like. I didn't like country at all. I hated country because I grew up here.
Sure.
So I can't relate to like
Yeah.
driving on a dirt road.
You're like not allowed to
or-
love country in LA. It's
Yeah,
a weird
well,
thing.
because I just couldn't relate. Like
Yeah,
I don't know
totally fair.
what drinking whiskey's like. I don't know what waking up with the sun. Like I don't know. Like
Old dirt roads.
like God's. Yeah, exactly. Like I always talk about the checklist of country songs. It's like it's got to talk about a dirt road. It's got to talk about a truck
Yeah.
or some kind of liquor, usually whiskey.
Yeah.
Those are the checklists in a country songs. Anyway, point being, my girlfriend's from Oklahoma, and so she obviously loves country, and so I had to continue to start listening to it.
Sure.
And then I went to a couple shows with her because she would go to things with me, and like I said, as a person who appreciates live music, actually being in like certain concerts where there's country, like I went to Chris Stapleton, for example.
God.
He's great. Well, I
He's
love.
amazing.
I like Chris Stapleton because he collaborated with Justin Timberlake, who I love, and I'm like, well, Justin likes him. He must be cool.
But he transcends like
For
all
sure.
genres.
Well,
you
he's
know?
more rock.
Yeah,
I feel like he's more rock and blues, and yeah,
good.
he's
Yeah.
great.
But that's a nice way to get to dabble in.
It's like the gateway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
it
He's a gateway drug.
opened me to other things. But like that's why I feel like I would love Austin because I know they have a
You
really
would.
good live music scene. Like I loved going to
Huge.
Nashville. I loved going just to all. Have you been to Nashville? I'm assuming.
Not yet.
Oh no, you haven't.
I know.
So it's like I mean,
Everyone keeps saying.
it's probably it's definitely my top 3 favorite
Wow.
U.S. city.
Okay.
Denver's
good to
number
know.
1 still.
Denver. I've never been to Denver either.
I
I know. And see, it seems like my kind of town. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like
Love Denver.
snow doesn't look like L.A.
No.
Cold.
Very
that sounds
green.
nice. Very green.
Very bike traily.
nice people.
Nice people.
See.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Legal
Sounds nice.
marijuana, legal
Yeah.
mushrooms now too, if you're into that sort of thing.
Whoa, that I did not know. That's
Yeah.
wild.
I
That
like to do
seems
that.
dangerous, actually.
No,
but
it's a
no.
I don't do mushrooms, but they're used. Initially it was like to help people with like PSD and like
Sure.
depression and stuff, and so under a controlled environment, it actually is very beneficial. But
I
they
love
just
this story.
went ahead and legalized them because it's natural. And
It's Denver, so
Yeah.
there you go.
but yeah, Nashville was cool. Just going to all the different, like, I mean, because on Nashville, there's like the Main Street. I forget, it might even be called Main Street. I don't know. But there's got to be 25,
Yeah.
30 places where all day long there's just people
Music,
playing
yeah.
music, and it's awesome. Because like as a comic, I'm performing, hopefully in front of a large room of people. But sometimes there's 10 people, there's 12 people, there's 5. I performed for 2 people before, and it's like, and a lot of times they're not there specifically to see me.
Sure.
So it's just like, for me, I want people to like me. Obviously, I want to
Yeah.
build my following. I want, and then you go to, Nashville, and they're playing music for people that a lot of times don't even care.
Right.
They're just like the
Right.
background, and it's just like these people are singing their hearts out, and it's just so inspiring as an artist to see people like actually doing it.
Yeah.
Like not just talking the talk, but like they're performing for people that don't even care that they're performing, and like
Yeah.
that's inspiring to me.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that
Sounds-
energy.
I knew that it would be a place that I want to go to.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
But I gotta
We're
go.
working on it.
I'm if Cap City. If you guys will email me back, I'll be there whenever. I want to go to
Damn it,
Austin
Come
too.
on. Yeah.
But
you gotta go.
you were born in Austin, but you got out of there fast, right?
Yeah. Really fast, like a year. But still got family there.
Okay.
Yeah. So I go back.
You
I
love
love
it. Is that your favorite city
Uh,
besides Portland?
Besides Portland, yeah.
Okay. See, I like barbecue.
Oh,
Barbecue
me
is
too.
like my thing.
And Texas barbecue
Yeah,
is
of
my
course.
thing. Not Kansas, not Tennessee, not
Yeah,
anywhere else.
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
like.
Not Oklahoma. I like Texas barbecue.
There's a couple places in Oklahoma that are really good though.
I believe it.
I will say, but yeah, Texas barbecue.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. So far, my favorite barbecue place that I've been to
Mm-hmm.
is been in El Paso, Texas.
Really?
Yes.
I've never been to El Paso.
You're
which-
not missing
which-
anything. Don't go. Don't go. There are definitely not a lot of places
All
for
right.
you to blog about in El Paso.
But except for this barbecue place,
Yeah,
apparently. Which one is it?
I want to say it's Desert Oak Barbecue. I think is what it's called. Oh God, I would have to Yelp it.
Yeah.
But I think it's called Desert Oak, and I just happen to whenever I go to a city, the 2 things that I look for is the closest gym to where I'm staying,
Fair.
because I like to.
That's your thing.
Yeah, it's like
It's part of your life.
I don't want to call myself a fitness blogger, but like everywhere I go, you will see me post about
Mm-hmm.
where I worked out
Sure.
at some point and write about it or whatever.
Hey, man, hone in on your thing and just own it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I do that, and then I find the closest barbecue, and those are the
Good.
2 things
That's
that
a
I
good
always find.
dichotomy.
Yeah.
So,
'Cause-
have you been to Bloodso's then in LA?
This is my favorite place here.
It's my favorite place.
Oh,
here.
really?
Then you know good barbecue.
Oh, look at that!
Oh,
See,
shit.
yeah, I love Bloodso's.
Me too.
It's like
my favorite.
I mean, I would probably go there if I lived closer. I would go there more.
Mm-hmm.
I live closer to Slab.
Okay.
on-
Slab is like some OG shit though.
Yeah, see,
He is unbelievably
he was the food truck
talented.
guy, right?
So he had
I love that you know the story.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
because he ended up becoming friends with a good friend of
Oh,
mine,
okay.
and so I've met him a couple times, and I mean, like it was in his
Yeah,
backyard.
and he would like
No, it was a
it was
backyard
like
barbecue.
invite only kind of thing,
Yes,
right?
yes, and you could technically order some things from him, if you were in on the club and stuff.
Yeah, it
But
was like a speakeasy
it was
barbecue, basically.
nuts.
Uh huh.
Yeah, and it was some underground shit, and
Uh-huh.
it was like unreal, like no joke barbecue. But Slab is great. I
Yeah,
mean, I
yeah.
think that
It's smaller.
it's
It's a
smaller.
little bit more expensive than Bledsoe's. A little bit, not much, but like I feel like it's
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think that I noticed per se,
Yeah,
but yeah, stoked to have that here too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's within walking distance. So like,
Oh, that's
if
cool.
I have a
That's
quick,
that's pretty.
if I have a quick, I'm like, okay, I'll just stop here really quick.
That's not too
but
bad.
but Bledsoe's is my favorite.
Oh, Bledsoe's is great.
Okay,
Yeah,
I like
two
it.
great.
Have you
great
been now? Have you
choices.
been to the original Bledsoe's?
No, I haven't, but my boyfriend has.
Okay.
And he said it was pretty wild experience. So
Oh, really?
it's just completely different.
Yeah.
Like the two are like yes, they are related, but the OG Bledsoe's is just
I
like
feel like it's probably a little bit grittier.
yeah,
A little
yeah,
bit more like I don't know.
just OG. I mean, it's been there for a long time,
Uh-huh.
so it's just a little like shop storefront. I'm like, I don't even know if they have seating type situation.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying this, and I've never been there, so I
Yeah,
have no
right.
idea. But I do know that it is polar opposite.
Yeah, because
of,
the one here
of
is
their
nice.
one on the
It's
brand.
like it's
yeah.
almost like it's like a hangout. Like
That's great.
The interior's
Yeah.
great, and
What's
their
funny
hours.
is I always see people in there in gym clothes too. I don't know what that is.
I mean, see, the thing is for me as like a health person, you're not vegan.
No,
You can't be with
can't.
your job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is like, like say like 20 years ago, everyone was like, you can't eat red meat, it's bad, and it's like, no, actually, if you know better, you know that's like it's not really red meat that's bad for you. It's other things. It's there's no. I mean, we can get it. It's a whole other conversation, but it's like there's nothing wrong with meat.
No.
Okay. Now, as a fitness person, for me, like you like to indulge. You say 70-30, right?
75,
Give-
25. I'm not sure.
and I'm the same way. Like I said, mine is more like 90-10.
Yeah.
But it's like for me, I don't even think about barbecue as like cutting into like that 10 because I'm just eating meat. Like we just eat like I'll be honest, like if I go to barbecue place, I don't get like the mac and
sides,
cheese
yeah.
or like the fried zucchini or the french fries even. Like I'll just get the meat and then maybe I'll get like beans.
Yeah.
And like that's it. Unless I'm like gonna go really hard, then maybe I'll care.
So you're just confirming the fact that I always thought the barbecue was super good for you. So
No, it is. It is. That's the thing.
I've literally always believed that.
Yeah.
I'm like, but it's just mean barbecue sauce.
That's it. Well, see, that's the thing.
And I wasn't sure if it was me just trying to convince myself of that.
It's part of it. But like the thing is,
There's
okay,
worse things.
way worse things.
Yeah.
And the thing is like why I love barbecue is like one of the things is if it's really good barbecue, and I'm not a person that knows how to do it. I want to learn eventually, but like most good barbecue, you don't even need the sauce.
Yeah.
Like you can just eat the meat and
Yeah,
just taste like
true.
whatever they put on it, like the seasoning and the char, and like I just
Yeah.
love all of that. And I don't. A lot of times, I like at Bledsoe's, I hardly ever use the sauce. It
That's
just
amazing.
goes unused.
This is why we need to get you to Austin, like
Yeah, I know,
yesterday.
I know.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna go.
The volume of amazing barbecue spots is just like it'll blow your mind.
Yeah.
You're gonna have like you're gonna have to stay there a few days.
Probably.
Seriously.
And I also want to go because are you familiar with On It?
On it.
It's like a big nutrition and supplement company, but they have like a big headquarters there. Like,
Okay.
so they have like a big fitness facility,
Oh.
and they have all these classes and stuff.
Neat. So you need to go check that out too.
Yeah, because that's my
hell
thing.
Yeah, get a twofer.
Yeah,
Sounds
exactly.
like a great plan. Three for comedy, barbecue, workout.
That's whenever I go, I write gyms, jokes, and barbecue. That's like my thing.
Love it.
That'll
Well,
be
you're
like
nailing it.
my E True Hollywood story is so okay. I'll have to ask you, and I know you probably can't narrow it down, but if someone was visiting you from somewhere else that have never been to LA, where would you take them? Like, and it doesn't have to be a restaurant. It can be anything. You're like, you need to see
Anything.
this.
My like top things. Oh man. So I'm literally as we're speaking, I'm diving into a whole guide to a first timers
Oh, okay.
experience in Los
Really?
Angeles, and this is taking me. I mean, this has been an undertaking because LA this is much. This is a big city, and it's like, okay, well, depends on your budget. Depends on, are you east side or you
Right.
west side? Depends on, are you looking to do more active stuff? Or are you looking to just go eat and drink? Like, I mean, there's so many
Right,
different
right,
ways
right.
that you could go. But if it were just me, I would probably do something involving a Dodger game, maybe.
She's just saying that because I'm here.
Nah.
Do you know I'm the biggest Dodger fan? Like, so
Wait,
big.
yeah, no, we did talk about this. That's right.
Like, I'm like a huge Dodger fan.
Oh my god, I love
Like,
that.
I was
at
crying.
Game 5.
I was at Game
Woof.
5.
You were there too?
Yeah, you had better
Sad.
seats than I did.
Oh, those were my season tickets too.
You have season tickets to the Dodgers?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
For real.
Like, on purpose?
Yeah. Well, they're my boyfriends, but they're also mine. Come on.
Yeah, of course.
Guilty by proximity.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Where are your season tickets?
They're down in the
Don't say the Dugout Club.
Oh yeah. No. God.
Because I'm gonna be so. Because like
I'm a millionaire. No, I wish. Someday.
I sat there for
Let's
the first.
manifest destiny.
Wait, hold
that.
on. I sat there for the first time this season.
I've never been.
Okay.
So
they have.
rude.
Can I just? I've been a Dodger fan my whole life. The Dugout Club has existed, I think, for like 9 or 10 years at this point.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure,
That's
like
it?
2008, 2009. Yeah, it had.
Whoa.
It wasn't always there.
Okay.
But I never did it. And then one of my friends, whose boyfriend is super successful, bought her season tickets, and she's like, "Hey," and she knows I love the Dodgers. That's kind of how we became friends.
Amazing.
And I got to sit in the Dugout Club, and let me just tell you, when we talk about manifest, after sitting there, I'm like, oh, it's the most amazing thing.
Oh, it's insanity, I'm sure. Tommy, my boyfriend, got to go one time because as a season ticket holder, every now and then you can win random things.
Right.
And he won tickets in the
great.
Dugout Club, and he was like, "It was the best thing ever."
No,
I'm
it's
like,
phenomenal.
Cool.
You're hanging out with all this, like, there's all kinds of famous people.
Yeah, of course.
There's all kinds of important people.
Wolfgang Puck. That's where you had.
Yeah.
I could have stopped. I'm like, okay.
It's like
Dodgers and Wolfgang Puck.
It's all you
there.
could eat food,
Yeah.
not just stadium
Yeah.
food, but like actual like
catering, but gorgeous catering.
yes,
Yeah.
and there's everything you want. Like there's salads and there's fruits and
I want all that.
the dessert bar is like ridiculous, and the people like the service
Yeah.
is like
A+.
second to none. Yeah.
So perfect day.
Okay, I like it.
Dugout
Yeah.
Club.
I love it. Yeah. Okay.
And then we would maybe do a little like, I don't know, like I would want to do some cool like historic things. Like I'd want to do like downtown, maybe do like little
Like the Alexandria,
what's the Alexandria?
the haunted hotel downtown.
What? I don't even know what that is.
Okay, go check it out.
Not
Put
the
it-
Figueroa.
No,
The Alexandria. It's a different one. What?
totally different. I've been to the I've been to the Figaro is the one American Horror Story was loosely based off of.
Good question. I don't even know,
think-
but it's got some
pretty
history.
sure.
Yeah. But downtown has some cool history. Like, I think that's what's fun about going to Dodger Stadium is that like that's one of our like most preserved pieces of
Yeah.
history, and it's just a fun experience. And obviously, I'm a Dodger fan, so and baseball games
Yeah, I got you.
are super fun.
Yeah.
So
They're about to get a new facelift this year.
right? Yeah, it's
They're-
like, and there's a whole conspiracy with that, but let's not even get into it.
It's like $100 million renovation.
Yeah, and that's
and-
why let's not get into it.
Is that why the season tickets are going to go up even more?
Maybe,
Yeah.
but they're moving so quickly because they want to have it done before the season. I mean, and
They
it's
have
a
to.
huge renovation.
Yeah.
And so
Oh, so you think the conspiracy theory is they kind of
through
eliminated
the game,
themselves?
yes, so that they
Oh God, I would if I. Oh God.
that's Dodger Twitter for you right there. So careful.
I'm so glad
was
that
like,
I haven't seen
"What?"
that because that's going to be bothering me because
Yeah.
now it makes sense. It's like
What?
8 Men Out. You probably haven't seen, but there's 8 Men Out is based on a true story.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say 1919 Chicago Black Sox
Mm-hmm.
through the World Series, and then a bunch of players that participated. They got banned for life, obviously. But it's a movie
Whoa.
with Charlie Sheen, isn't it? Before he was like,
I don't think I've seen it.
it's probably from like late 80s, early 90s. 8
Sounds
Men
right
Out.
up my alley. Though,
It's
so
great.
I'm gonna
It's
have to
got.
look
There's
it.
actually a lot of famous people in there
Oh, shit.
before they were
Okay.
like super.
Sounds
super
like
big.
a movie that would be on MLB Network, which is why I'm surprised
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like your boyfriend already. I don't even know him.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been doing this. He's a photographer, and he's been doing these like Dodger fan portraits.
Oh wow.
Next time he's doing one, you should come out.
Yeah.
He does really. It's called Somos Los Doyers, and it's a. Super,
Oh, I've seen it on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's him. So
Wait, did he do a video too?
he was on ABC7.
I saw a video. I think like yeah. I'm totally familiar. I've seen it.
It's
It's
been
crazy how stuff like pops up on my Instagram.
right.
They're like, you would like this, and
Yeah.
that's scary
Yeah, I know. That's
because they're
the
like,
internet for you.
yeah. Okay, so Dodger game
Yeah.
for sure, and
Yeah.
then something downtown.
Yeah, I mean,
And then-
I am more attracted to. I shouldn't say that. I find downtown to just be like a super cool mixture of things that are really ultra historic
Yeah.
and then things that are really interesting and new. So that's kind of where that
Okay.
interesting dichotomy is. And then maybe I don't know. Maybe we'd go. Ooh, I'm gonna have to send you this blog post because like
when you
after
finally
writing
write it,
yeah. Once I get it finally written, it's mostly done. It's just, oh my god, the last leg is like, it's grueling.
My favorite when people come, I want them to. I'm like, because there's a few different ways, but to the Hollywood sign, like we have to go
Sure.
see. If you
Yeah.
don't want to walk up to it, we have to at least go somewhere we can see it.
Sure.
Which sometimes is closer, sometimes
Yeah.
it's further, depending on the day and the smog and stuff.
Yeah.
Hollywood sign, and for me, the Chinese theater is very special to me.
Really?
Yeah, because my mom used to take me when I was little. Like,
Okay, that's
I
fair.
remember seeing I remember she taking me for my birthday
Mm-hmm.
to see Return of the Jedi.
Oh wow,
And
that's
all-
super special.
And also Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Yeah, as a kid, I would imagine it would
Yeah.
be a lot more
There's so much history there.
exciting. I worked on Hollywood Boulevard, so there's like one little tidbit of advice.
Wait, were you?
I was at the Live Nation offices. On
Oh, yeah,
Hollywood
that's right,
Boulevard.
that's right, yeah.
Yep. So I was literally across the street
Okay.
from that, and in this upcoming blog post, my advice is to just avoid it at all costs. But
It's weird. Yeah, it's congested.
it's good to drive
but
by.
it's just so
Like
much.
drive through at dusk. Ooh, like
Yeah.
see it. Maybe stop off at Musso and Frank. Get a cocktail, do
Oh,
a martini. But like you don't have to walk the thing.
The
thing.
the handprints and stuff.
Oh my god, and the homeless people and
I mean,
and
of
the
course.
smells and the characters with the.
I know.
Got most god awful costumes on the planet. I mean, it's an ordeal.
Some
for
of them
me.
are good though.
Most of them are bad.
I saw Superman the
I
other
worked
day.
there.
I saw Superman the other day that was legit like the real thing. Like he
Yeah.
have spent hundreds of dollars on his Superman costume.
You're probably right. At night,
And
the
he
A
was
team is
a
what
really good look. Yeah,
probably
yeah.
comes out that.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm seeing the B, C, and D
Got it, in the
Z
daytime.
team during the day.
I like the China. That would be my two things. Dodger game, of course.
Yeah.
If I could. Hollywood sign and like the handprints in the Chinese
Yeah.
theater.
What about Griffith Observatory?
But see, that kind of you could do the Hollywood side and the Griffith Observatory.
You could.
I like the Griffith Observatory. I like that too. I that's my hike.
Yeah.
I prefer.
Me too.
Is to do that one, pass through the Griffith Observatory, then go to the Hollywood sign because then you could. But
Yeah.
it just takes a little bit longer.
That's a long.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
So like it's
In my head,
actually
I'm like, that's two different things.
yeah, it's very long. But if you had enough time,
Yeah.
maybe if you had more than one day.
Yeah.
do
PCH
that.
drive too. I feel like you
Yeah,
could do
yeah.
a super fun little PCH drive because
Yeah.
I feel like that's very like quintessential California. It's like driving down the
Definitely.
one through Malibu, through Venice and Santa Monica and stuff like that, and stopping off at a couple places. I don't know if you need recommendations, just call me
Or
I
just
don't
follow
know.
her blog.
Follow me.
Okay, tell them where they can find you.
I am at Love and Loathing LA on Instagram and loveandloathingla.com on the internets.
On
Yeah.
the internet,
Yeah.
that's the blog.
World
and
Wide Web, that's my
whatever.
blog. Yeah.
Caroline, thank you so much
Oh my
for
gosh.
coming into our lovely studio here in Koreatown.
Thank you.
And do you have anything coming up that maybe people need to keep an eye out for, other than just your fabulous blog in general?
Nope.
Okay.
Just every day is a new day, and
Yeah.
every day is a new restaurant. I swear.
and we're not on a routine, so.
Yeah, exactly. No routines.
I will be. Let's see. You're hearing this week, so I'm gonna be at the Empire Lounge at Ontario, November 9th. It's a Saturday. You can get tickets through the website or whatever. Or there's probably links in my on my Instagram, Twitter. Also, I'm going to be at Zany's Comedy Club in Chicago, November 14th through 17th, and I'm very excited because I've never performed there. So that's what's coming up with me over the next couple weeks. If you like the podcast, obviously rate it, review it on Apple Podcasts, share it with your friend. Thank you again for coming. And you guys,
you.
bye guys. This has been the Camera Adds 10 Pounds. We're leaving. Peace out.
Ah.